Well, one day after he wrapped up his 15th and final Taste of Vermont event, the state's senior senator says he has no regrets about leaving the seat on Capitol Hill that he's held since 1975. Lauren Maloney got to sit down with him in his Senate office today, and she joins us now from right outside the nation's capital on what's shaping up, Lauren, to be a beautiful Friday night.
Mike, actually the wind just died down a bit. It is beautiful out here. A little chilly, but I won't complain because I know you guys are dealing with a lot worse right now. Senator Patrick Leahy told me that his decision last November to retire was a family one. And I should mention that when we talk about family, it's a much larger family now because his wife, Marcel, told me when they talk about family, they include staff. A lot of staffers have had children by now, so of course that's a second generation as well. The senator gave me a bit of a tour of his offices today as Senate President Pro Tem. I'll mention he is using a cane and walking quite well after recovering from 2 hip surgeries after a fall in his Virginia home in late June. We walked through some of the very halls rioters had invaded nearly 10 months ago, and he mentioned to me how we can't let the insurrection continue to divide the people of this country. The 82-year-old senator hopes unity will be the theme when the new group of lawmakers arrives in January.
Senator Leahy and I have worked together for many, many decades, going way back when I was mayor of Burlington to when I was in the House and obviously in the Senate. So we have had a very, very strong working relationship. I'm going to miss him, and the people from Vermont are going to miss him as well.
Yeah, but I've loved the Senate. I've loved every minute of it. I found it frustrating at times, but I would not give up a moment that I've had in the Senate. But I also have no regrets whatsoever in my decision.
The longest serving sitting senator also has a new book out called The Road Taken, which we profiled last month, you'll recall. He says he can't wait to get back home to Vermont and, of course, work out of a schedule that is his own and not managed by staffers or somebody else. So much more of my interview, by the way, later on in a future episode of What Matters This Week. Reporting live in Washington, D.C., I'm Lauren Maloney.
And Lauren, you had the opportunity to mention very briefly in your coverage last night that because the January 6th insurrection has taken place since the last taste happened, that the security protocols that you and others have had to sift through this week have looked and felt very different. What have they been like for you?
Yeah, Mike, I'll mention right out here, and as you can see, we are right outside the U.S. Capitol. There is light fencing, which I do recall from 3 years ago, the last time we were here, so I don't think that has changed. But entering the Russell Senate building, which was where the Taste of Vermont was held last evening, we, of course, have press badges, and I have been wearing it all day, and I just took it off just because of the wind. But when we walk into buildings and different hallways and we encounter Capitol Police, a lot of them are double checking IDs, asking to see our license just a bit further to make sure we are in the right place. And I think that was a stark difference. That extra layer was something different that I noticed from the last time we were here, which was, of course, before the pandemic and obviously before what happened on January 6th. Back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. A great pleasure to hear from you again.